Debunking common mining myths, conversations about mining. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and in today's video we're going to be looking at some of the information that's being shared around by the mining influencers on YouTube. So if we click over to YouTube, I've typed in how to get a mining job in Australia, and if you come down you'll see our videos here, but you'll see the other videos around the place, and you'll see a lot of them are all about trying to get into the industry and telling you the best way in. And some of the issues that I've got with that is that a lot of these people are only just into the industry themselves, and they don't have a lot of an idea about where the actual mining jobs are, and they sort of head you down the path of going into a utility role or trying to get a shutdown job or something like that. That's where everybody's going to be. And if you're looking at ads that are telling you that you're going to make $150,000, $170,000 a year driving one of these trucks in this sort of environment, you're 15 years too late, and you're about $30,000 more than what the top pay packet was back in the day. It was very rare. Most people made on an even time roster on the surface working in iron ore when they were driving trucks between that 130 and 140,000. A few of the top line people, they got paid 150,000, but nobody got paid over 150,000 for driving one of those things. So that's one of the things that's an issue. The other issue is where the actual jobs are. I like this guy Tommy the Cowboy. He's got a lot of good information on his channel about shutdown work, and that's exactly what the information is about shutdown work. One of the problems with shutdown work at the moment is that the lithium and iron ore prices went into the toilet, and half the shutdowns got cancelled, or more than half the shutdowns got cancelled. And so there's a lot of shutdown workers and not a lot of work around at the moment. And it's the same thing with civil. If people are trying to point you towards civil, there's not a lot of civil work at the moment because of what happened with lithium and nickel. Where there is a lot of work is in the actual production mining jobs. So like on our videos where we tell you exactly the production mining jobs, how to get into it. But there's a lot of people on here. Mitch in Mining is a good example. He had a good job on site, and he had a nice little channel going. This is his channel over here if you want to go and have a look at some of his videos. But he stopped a couple of years ago because he got given the choice. He either did his videos and had his channel and did his TikToking stuff and went that way, or he had his mining job. And that's the thing that you've got to understand with all these people that are putting stuff out there. None of the companies like it, and as soon as the company finds out that you're doing it, they're going to be putting the hard word on you to stop. Okay, so you've got to question why a lot of people are doing this stuff, and you've got to question what a lot of these people are doing, because a lot of these people are doing fringe jobs where it doesn't really matter, and they're not drawing the eye of the employer because they're not a full-time worker in a production mining job. They're in a utility job, or they're in a shutdown job, or a temporary job somewhere along the way. So that's the other thing that you need to look at when you look at these jobs. This guy's a perfect example. He's pumping grease at the moment. He came over from Ireland, great thing, but the resume service that he plugs, it's like there's two big resume services that got all these TikTokers plugging them at the moment. One of them uses virtual assistants to do their resumes, and they outsource it overseas, and the other one uses AI to do their resumes. So that's, if you're looking for a resume, the only decent people that I know of in the industry that actually do it physically themselves are the in-house resume writer that we've got here at Underground Training, Jess that I do the podcast with from Beyond, and Jasmine from Ruby Resumes. They're the only people in the industry that I know for sure that do their resumes 100% themselves, and you're going to get a legit product and you're not going to get ripped off. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people around, and with the advances in technology, there's a lot of people just trying to run these resumes through AI, and you're getting spat back with a lot of stuff, and that's why there's so many resume writers around. The other issue I've got with the resume writers is that they're not going to help you actually succeed in the mining job. And the reason that they're not going to help you succeed in the mining job is because a magic resume might get your foot through the door, but it's not going to help you do the first 6 months in the job. To do the first 6 months in the job, you've actually got to know what's going on, and you've got to survive. And so the best way to do that is to learn how it all works. And this is the other issue that I've got with this sort of stuff is companies like this, get nationally recognised mining tickets. Okay, so there's no such thing as nationally recognised, or there is nationally recognised education tickets that you can do, but there's no mining companies that nationally recognise tickets. And I've done this before, and I've already talked about this once, so I'm just going to let this run through so we can have a quick look at it. You can download it, and I've downloaded it, and I've gone straight to the page, and this is it in the Workers Health Safety Mines regulation. So this is a special bit. So this is an added regulation in on top of what everybody else around the country or in the state of WA has to do with their workers. So the mine operator must ensure that each worker at the mine is given suitable and adequate information, training and instruction in relation to the following. So all the hazards associated with the work being carried out, control measures, all the hazards and all that sort of stuff, and the emergency plan and all that sort of stuff as well. You've got to be given all that instructions. But it's the 675BA, the site induction for new workers, that's a real important one that they've made it really concise. So the mine operator of a mine must ensure that before a worker commences work at a mine, the worker is given information, training and instruction on the general mining operations, systems of work, so that's the procedures that you have to use to do your job, safety procedures and tasks required of the worker. So that basically means, and this is a regulation on top of all the other employers have to do, is that when they get somebody new into their site, they have to run them through everything. So you have to be able to prove in a court of law that you've done everything they can to train you. And that's why you can't import equipment tickets onto these sites, and that's why there's no formal qualifications that anybody recognises. So when you go over to Seek and type underground into Seek, and we'll do that in a second, but if we just jump back onto this one here. So how the hell is this company selling equipment tickets in Perth for mining jobs if the mining employers can't use them under the Mining Act? And this is the problem that I've got with these people, and I'm not going to click on the sponsor or anything like that, so you can go through and have a look for yourself. But yeah, it's just another company that's trying to sell you stuff that you can't use. I don't know where they're helping you get a job if they're selling you those equipment tickets, but they're not helping you get a job in any of these mining jobs. So if you type mining truck in and you go to any one of these jobs, the one thing that you won't see is an equipment ticket that you need. You don't need equipment tickets. The must-have is the C-Class driver's license. They want you to have mining experience. They want you to know how the underground works, and that's where you can use the training. Either the DIY package, the 3-step, or the work ready will teach you how it all works so you can get yourself a job. But that's what they want. When they ask for experience, this is what they're asking for. Now, if you go through Underground Mine Truck New South Wales, you can have a look there. As you can see, we go down again. They're not to be considered for these jobs, experience, problem-solving skills, C-Class license, so the manual license again. They would like you to have a working at heights ticket to be obtained prior to start. So they like you to have a 1-day working at heights sometimes. Often the mine sites will put you through it again when you get to site, but that can be sometimes a good thing to do. But what you don't see in there is any equipment tickets because nobody can use them. So this gets really annoying, and you can keep clicking through and you can keep clicking on, and this is a brand new job. This is for a surface mine around Kalgoorlie by the looks of things. They're looking for people with actual truck driving experience, so in 777s or bigger. Previous experience, national, a HR license is what you want, preferred, but you probably don't need it because they don't have a gazetted road running through it, but there might be a gazetted road coming through at some stage, so that's why they want you to have a HR. But as you can see, there's no equipment tickets. So as I say again, why the hell would you be getting a bunch of equipment tickets that none of the job ads use? And how come you're spending all this money getting these useless tickets that none of the employers can use if you've done your research and you've done you've looked into it? And a lot of these influencers are selling these stuff. It just is what it is. It's really frustrating from the perspective of somebody that's been in the industry for a long time. You get these people that are coming through and they just keep on. It's the same bullshit I got a utility job and I moved across. You just have to look at the videos on the poaching rules. That hardly ever happens. You have to be an extremely charismatic person for that to happen, or you have to know somebody. And the other thing that you see around the place is that you don't need the manual license. Anybody that doesn't have a manual license that's working in a hard rock underground mine or in a pit or somewhere like that, they're related to somebody. Somebody's making an exception for them. And when the bosses change, those exceptions can get scrapped as well, and you might not have a job. So the easiest, I tell people that if you're a mere mortal and you're trying to get into the industry, you're not related to anybody, then you definitely need a manual car license. That's a must. But yeah, that's some of the common mining myths that you get in this. And the biggest one is that you need a whole heap of equipment tickets, which you don't need. And the other one is that you can jump in as an entry-level person, as a utility or a shutdown worker, and then you can work your way across to a production mining job. It just doesn't work like that. You can have a look at this video that I've done here. That's our mining job flow chart. And you can, in the video, I talk about the fact that you don't jump from this area, because that's the utility area up there, across into the production area over here. But yeah, it just doesn't happen. So I hope you found that information helpful. But yeah, I just find it extremely frustrating with all these influencers around that don't have a lot of practical mining experience, and the experience that they do have is definitely in the fringes of the industry, and they give out the wrong information all the time. They get people to come over and they spend $3,000 or $4,000 doing equipment tickets that just aren't going to help them, and then they can't get a mining job and wonder why. Yeah, it just is what it is. If you're coming in from overseas and you want to see how to get a mining job, then you can have a look at our videos that we've done on the two guys that how two guys on working holiday visas got jobs. So have a look at that one. That's a good one to have a look at. We've had a guy get a diamond driller offsider's job recently in Kalgoorlie, and a guy get an AGI operator's job in Mount Isa recently as well, both on working holiday visas. So yeah, it's doable, but you've got to set yourself up right, and you've got to know what you're getting yourself into. And you know, a lot of these people are just leading you down the garden path, and they're just giving you incorrect information or old information, like I was talking about before with the shutdown and the utility jobs. The shutdown and the construction jobs. Yeah, you know, there was a lot of demand for that 18 months ago, but since lithium and nickel tanked, yeah, the demand for that's gone away, and now they've got an oversupply of people. So it just is what it is. So I hope you found that information helpful, and if you could share this video around and like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.